The following is an exclusive presentation of Raycom Sports and Jefferson Pilot Sports.
The Roy Williams era at North Carolina has started like the Tar Heel fans had expected. 2 dominating wins and a top 10 ranking. Last Saturday, Rashad McCants led the Tar Heels in their home opener over Old Dominion. 2 days later, Jawad Williams had 28 points in a win over Davidson. Today, the Tar Heels take their first trip out of North Carolina to Cleveland State. It'll be a homecoming for Williams, a Cleveland native. Coming up, the Tar Heels meet the Vikings. Welcome inside the Cleveland State University Convocation Center in downtown Cleveland, Ohio, where Raycom Sports and Jefferson Pilot Sports are proud to present ACC basketball. 2 unbeatens in non-conference play. North Carolina taking on the Vikings of Cleveland State. Good afternoon, everybody. Steve Martin here along with Mike Chemensky. It is Jawad Williams' homecoming, and he tuned up in good shape with a great game against Davidson Monday night.
Well, there are certainly pressures to coming home. You want to play well, and then you turn into a Ticketron employee. He had 51 tickets to distribute, but a career-high 28 points against Davidson down in Charlotte. He is shooting an otherworldly 88% in the first 2 games. He is flourishing in this up-tempo style. Now, another big man playing well, center Sean May. He had 19 points against Davidson. He's shooting over 70% in his own right. And good things happen when he touches the ball in a possession, Steve Martin.
Now they're playing a Cleveland State team that's a member of the Horizon Conference with the new coach, Mike Garland, and he's leaning on a veteran, Jermaine Robinson, to get the ball in the hoop.
Well, he's the most seasoned guy that was here. He played 86 games in his career, and he's the most explosive scorer, averaging 26 points per in the first 2. Has gotten to the free throw line 27 times. He knows how to get to the front of the rim. Not a real great shooter.
Now, they shot 64 free throws against Florida A&M in their last win. Let's take a look at the 4 keys to the game, Mike.
Well, you look at North Carolina, they've got to compete on the boards. That's where Cleveland State is strongest up front. And for the Vikings, they've got to get back in defensive transition and try to slow the pace of this game down.
When we come back, we'll have the starting lineups, and then we'll be ready to tip it off. Cleveland State and North Carolina in Jawad Williams' homecoming.
ACC basketball is being brought to you by Pepsi, by Altel, by Geico, by Ford, by Chick-fil-A, by Food Lion, and by Budweiser.
Won't be too many empty seats here at Cleveland State University's Convocation Center. They had a great advance, and they're expecting a good walk up here today. Let's take a look at our Food Lion starting lineups. First for the North Carolina Tar Heels, Rashad McCants got off to a great start for the Tar Heels, a sophomore out of Asheville, North Carolina. He'll be joined by the homecoming man, Jawad Williams, Sean May, Melvin Scott, and Raymond Felton. For Cleveland State, it'll go this way. Omari Westley, a junior college star who's been waiting for 2 years to make his appearance here at Cleveland State, and he'll make it today. He's an outstanding player. Pop Badian, Walt Waters, a true freshman at center, Jermaine Robinson, and Walt Chavis complete the lineup. There's the mascot for Cleveland State. Their coach is Mike Garland. 7 years as an assistant at Michigan State to Tom Izzo, but the relationship goes back deeper than that.
No, they played together at Northern Michigan, where teammates. Tom Izzo was a walk-on on that team, and it's amazing how their careers have paralleled one another. And in 2000, when they were making their run at the national championship, they played their first-round games here in this building. Tom Izzo said to Mike Garland, this is a program you could really wrap your arms around. It's a pretty prophetic statement.
Well, he has, taking over for Ollie Massimino, who stepped down after 7 years. And there's Roy Williams in his 3rd game now as head man of the University of North Carolina. And people will swear that it's a very natural association, obviously, with Roy's experience and being a native of the state. He's got the jitters out of the way, and his team is playing some pretty good basketball.
Well, 2 things. First, it's been interesting to see the first true away game for North Carolina. They played on a neutral court, and that was actually a home court down in Charlotte. And also, I thought a great show of respect by Mike Garland and his team. All the players, when introduced, went over to shake Roy Williams' hand as well as the player they were introduced with. That's such a class. I kind of like that.
Jawad Williams getting ready to jump it up with Pop Badian. He will be ready to go. Sean May gets it going. McCants attacks and turns it over. Chavis picks his pocket clean, and Robinson has it on the wing. Attacking underneath. Quick basket, Omari Westley.
He's their best player right now, Stephen. You mentioned it. He's been waiting about 20 months to get into the flow of action. Nice little feed off the turnover on that play.
Played at 2 junior colleges, won a national championship. Here's Williams. Body on, playing good defense, closing them out. Expect a physical game. This is a Cleveland State team that's taken a lot of foul shots, and they fouled a lot themselves.
2 possessions, 2 turnovers for North Carolina, and Mike Garland is going to build this team in the image of Michigan State. They're going to be a very physical team. They're going to play rough up front. Not a lot of easy scoring opportunities in the lane area.
Body on, feeds it on the wing. This is Robinson. Robinson looking for something to happen in the post. He'll take the 3 from outside, doesn't go. And the rebound to Sean May, who sends Felton into front court. He'll try to get past Chavis. The kick out to McCants for 3. And the rebound comes away to Badian. Badian coming off a 15-point, 11-rebound performance. The pass ahead to Walt Waters is a little bit too far.
Well, if you're Cleveland State, and we've talked about it before, Steve, you want to get a good start to the game, get your confidence up a little bit. Cleveland State getting out and running. A nice pass by Robinson there. He's going to get a lot of attention inside, and Westley with a nice finish.
Oh, finish possibility for Williams. He caught it on the way down, couldn't do anything with it.
So he can distinctly remember every one of his misses this year. It's only his 3rd miss at a field goal attempt in the first 2+ games.
Here comes Robinson inside, off balance. Ordered by May. McCants ahead of the field for the Tar Heels. First basket of the day.
Yeah, that's what Cleveland State is trying to avoid, and they've done a good job up to this point in the first 2 minutes. They don't want any free breakouts like that. They want to try to keep North Carolina in the half court.
We're tied up at 2. Body on from France. Cross court to Chavis on the skip pass. And Westley inside against the double team. Now comes out front to Chavis. 13 on the shot clock now as Cleveland State reworks it. Williams on the trap, leaving Badian open for the jumper. Rattles around the equipment, and May has it knocked out of his hands and out of bounds. It's going to be Tar Heel ball.
Here's the look, and this is the way Roy Williams wants them playing. Great look up ahead by Sean May to hit McCants and give him an easy layup. But it's so important for the big guys in the backcourt to look up and see what opportunities they have.
May turns around and shoots out of the low post. You and I were talking yesterday, Mike, about this North Carolina team and the presence of Sean May. He may be the best post presence in the ACC this year.
No question, which speaks to, you look at it, and there aren't many true low post players, but he has got great moves inside, soft hands, nice moves, a couple counter moves, and you see the rebound right there. He's really got the complete package.
But they've got around the perimeter with Felton and with Melvin Scott, who's a good shooter from outside, and McCants, who can go inside and out. Having a good post presence gives you that opportunity. You can run a lot of offense through here.
Well, and that's really the key point of Roy Williams' offense, to hit inside and work inside and then go out on the perimeter.
Felton ahead to McCants with Chavis back. Count the basket plus the foul. And McCants gives North Carolina now a 6-2 lead, and Chavis picks up the foul. That's going to be his first.
Rashad McCants last year shot 44% from behind the arc, and a lot of his game was on the perimeter. But this year, Steve, only 8 shots. We've seen him working the basket a little bit more, getting out in transition. Roy Williams wants to have him be more of an inside presence for this team, and he's so strong. Like a guy like B.J. Elder, you think of the wing players in this team who can get inside and be a presence in the lane.
Percell Foles has stepped into the Cleveland State lineup. He's a good three-point shooter, and Westley gets an early rest. Camps with a three-point play, 7-2. Carolina in the lead. Felton causing trouble here, and now he gets the steal on Chavis. And if he gets control of it, he'll get the layup. And a quick timeout taken here by Mike Garland. Probably not a bad idea. It's going to be a 30-second timeout.
He wants to get his team calmed down, and he's relied on Chavis to run the ball club. He's a junior. Morris behind him is a freshman, but Felton just all over him. This is the one thing that Cleveland State was really afraid of, was the pressure of North Carolina and turning those into points. They had Davidson 27 turnovers for 38 points in the game last week, and there you see the run right there, and a good timeout by Mike Garland to kind of regroup his team here.
9-0 run, obviously, as you said. This broadcast is a copyrighted presentation, and any use of it without the express permission of Raycom, Jefferson Pilot Sports, and the ACC is prohibited. I'm wondering what the theme is for this band. I mean, with tropical shirts and the Viking, I mean, there's something that there are kind of like conflicting marketing messages going.
Well, those are the Vikings that went down to Florida.
Oh, okay.
And then, frankly, as somebody of Nordic descent, I'm offended by that. I'm going to lead a petition for this school to change its nickname.
Sounds right. Against the zone from the corner for 3. And Jermaine Robinson's shot hangs up around the shot clock a little too long. And it's gone.
And I can't imagine that's the shot that Mike Garland wanted coming out of a timeout. You're struggling offensively, and you come out and you hoist up a quick 3.
Williams across the top of the defense into the corner. Felton feeds the post, and we got a whistle and a foul on Pop Badian. No, actually, it's going to be Tatum. And Philip Tatum, or Patrick Tatum, is coming to the ball game. Mr. Basketball in Canada. And already Victor Morris has stepped into the ball game.
Is that like being Mr. Hockey in the United States?
Probably.
To take away from his abilities. But
it was a great line. McCants on the inbounds from the corner. The rebound now comes away to Robinson, and he is flying into front court. McCants can't catch him, but fouls him.
Well, and I tell you, one thing that Roy Williams has really been concerned with this team is shot selection. And you saw that long jump shot from the corner was the first pass of the fast break, and Roy Williams not happy with that offensive decision.
Cleveland State in a scoring drought stretches back 3 minutes and 50 seconds. As Robinson goes to the line. They took 64 foul shots at Florida A&M and made 40 of them. In a game that went interminably, 2 hours and 45 seconds.
Yeah, you could have watched War and Peace and then an episode of Seinfeld and still caught the end of the game.
Second shot breaks the drought, and we got a timeout on the court. So Robinson's in the book. Cleveland State trails here by 6. 15:53 left to go here in the first half in Cleveland. North Carolina out to a 9-3 lead. The ACC.com, your first stop for ACC info, including live stat updates from all the conference games and links to all 9 schools. The ACC.com, your front row seat for ACC sports on the web. Steve Martin, Mike Jemensky here in Cleveland, and there's Jermaine Robinson. He's on the bench early as Mike Garland searches for a combination that'll provide some offense.
Well, I think he's trying to send a message, too, that Jermaine Robinson took some early, ill-advised shots. He's 0 of 3 from the field, a couple of long threes missed. You're talking about he's not a great shooter, only 37% from the floor and 18 from behind the arc. So he's got to get his going to the rim. So I think Mike Garland wants him to regroup and think about his game a little bit.
Williams drops it into Sean May in the post, and he'll turn fire and hit. Sean May powers North Carolina to an 8-point lead. Percell Coles in there with Victor Morris in the backcourt. Wesley is back in, Omari Westley, Pop Badian, and Patrick Tatum.
And let's watch Morris, the freshman point guard for Cleveland State. 8 turnovers in the first 2 games, but they solved it on that play.
Oh, great finish by Badian with the dunk. 11-5. Felton inside, tries to sneak it to May. There's a scrum for it. Coming away, Morris. Nice feed ahead. Badian, 2 more.
That's Pop Badian's game, to get out front, very athletic. He's able to play at the power forward this year with a couple of young centers. And nice defensive energy by Cleveland State coming.
Excuse me.
Has 9 block shots so far this season. This is 100 blocks for the career. Here is McCants. His lay-in doesn't work. May uses the glass. It doesn't work. Jackie Manuel's in the ballgame now. McCants comes back for 3. He's 1 for 9, but Jackie Manuel is there to finish.
And that's a big part of Jackie Manuel's offense. A very good offensive rebounder. And that time it was North Carolina who got multiple shots in that possession.
Omari Westley feeds the post. Badian now looking for an option out of it. Morris holds top of the floor with Felton checking him. Morris trying to get his way between the circles. Now takes it to the foul line, and air ball is gathered in by Jawad Williams. Felton. McCants on the wing. Williams is yet to score, and he is blocked and fouled there by Pop Badian.
Well, and, you know, talking to Mike Garland yesterday, he wants to play the way that Roy Williams is playing, a little up-tempo, but you see nice interior passing on the in the half court, and then taking advantage of the turnovers right here. Again, the good look up ahead and the finish by body. I mean, when you have a big guy who can run the floor like that, you can score points in this offense.
Victor Morris comes out. Jermaine Robinson's back in. Melvin Scott and Justin Bolander check in now for North Carolina. Williams will get a rest along with Rashad McCants. Felton on the inbound. Bolander. Provided walk on from Winston-Salem. Inside, nice back cut and reverse by Raymond Felton.
The overplay, Cleveland State being very aggressive out on the wings, and Sean May just very patient.
Chavis now running the offense here for Cleveland State. Robinson recovers in front of the Tar Heel bench. Melvin Scott playing tight on him. Here's Tatum trying to get by Bolander, puts the shot up, and the rebound comes away, knocked out of bounds, and knocked out of bounds by big number 33, Pete Ritzman.
The basketball is so easy, Steve, and you do the right things in the backcourt. You're overplayed. You take what the defense gives you, so instead of keeping on running out on the wing, go back door, and you get 2 points for it.
You got a guy like Sean May who can find you. Felton, ball handling pass Chavis to the post. May gets roughed up as he got inside, and a foul coming up on Cleveland State.
Ritzman, his second foul in as many plays. A holdover from the Rolly Massimino era that really was a walk-up half-court type of offense, and he's a big guy, 7'2", 290. He's had a little bit of a struggle getting used to the up and down of Mike Garland. And then you see Sean May make the adjustment. He knows he's got a big center on his back. He went to the jump hook, and he drew a foul.
It's at 16-7 with that. Hot body on checks back in, and Tatum comes out. A lot of people have been in this ball game already for Mike Garland's Vikings. May misses the second. The rebound is lost out of bounds, and it'll be Cleveland State ball.
Well, that's, you know, you talk to people playing North Carolina, and that's what they're going to try to do all year, even until at least David Noel comes back and everybody stays healthy. They're going to try to get to their bench somehow, and then Mike Garland trying to use as many bodies as he can.
David Noel probably be back 1st of January. We got a whistle, offensive foul against Cleveland State.
Badian getting called for the clear out that time, and a great trap over on the sideline. Picked up his dribble. Carolina clamped down on him, and he tried to create some space for himself and got the offensive foul.
That's a 16 foul on Cleveland State. 16-7, Tar Heels here. Going through the paces of their early part of the season, establishing the tempo of play, getting ready for their first big matchup, Illinois, Tuesday in Greensboro. Melvin Scott uses all of the equipment for that three. The first three-pointer of the ball game, and the Tar Heels push their lead now to 12.
He's been the most reliable from behind the arc for North Carolina at 4 of 10 before that shot.
A foul away from the action, and the foul is going to be charged. I think it's to Ritzman.
Good swing around that time, and you know, Steve, they've had 2 games. Against Old Dominion, they shot 8 3-pointers. Against Davidson, they shot 22. And in talking to the people of North Carolina, they're going to be closer to 8 attempts than they are to 22 in the course of this season. They don't want to use that as 25 times a game as a weapon.
Ritzman steps out with his 3rd foul, and that brings back Walt Waters, the freshman out of Detroit. Originally signed with Pittsburgh, but with the coaching change, they let him out of his agreement, and he was able to come to Cleveland State without waiting.
See that three, not nearly as good a look. Robinson getting up and getting a hand up on the shot.
Ball knocked off Omari Westley's hand with the defense played there by Jackie Manuel. It's a good matchup for the Tar Heels, as Manuel is their top defensive player, and he's taking probably their biggest offensive threat, Omari Westley. Let's see, we've got Melvin Scott taking over at the point as Felton comes out.
Well, Steve, we made mention at the top about what Jawad Williams and Sean May were shooting. Jackie Manuel 90%.
Oh, I know.
99 of 10 coming in. So he's been more selective and effective on the offensive end.
Williams 0 for 2 in his return to his hometown, and the rebound comes away to Cleveland State.
So it's hard to come back home and play. It is, you know, you can say all you want about it, but there is a lot of pressure. And you look around, there are a lot of light blue number 21 jerseys in the stands. And we talked about it. He had 51 tickets to allocate. 42 of those were to family members.
Got a timeout on the court with 11:42 left to go in this first half. Roy Williams, Tar Heels leading Cleveland State. Now welcome back Mike Garland, the head coach of Cleveland State. Sees his team trailing here in North Carolina, and a double-figure scores. There are 5 of them for the Tar Heels to open up the season, led by Jawad Williams, Sean May, Rashad McCants, Melvin Scott, Jackie Manuel, and interesting to note, the name you don't see up there is Raymond Felton.
But averaging 9 assists, so he's driving the bus right now, and then it really drops off. After him, the next highest average is 1.5 points per game. So those 6 guys are going to drive the offense this year.
Until David Noel comes back, and he'll join that group. It's still 7-man rotation. North Carolina now trapping the ball. Omari Westley gets on the side. They got to get it in the middle of the floor here in a hurry. He does with great trepidation, and it's knocked out of bounds by Westley. And good defensive set that time by the Tar Heels. There's David Noel.
Due back probably mid-January, right? As the ACC season starting to crank up. And then you have to wonder about the conditioning and the timing and how long it takes for him to get reincorporated.
Here's Jawad Williams, and he gets off the snide and gets the bucket. Scoring over Amadou Koundoul. Justin Bolander towards the miss. Manuel attacks the basket. It's tipped off the glass, but after it touched the glass by Westley. McCants drives in, dishes out for 3. Scott's shot won't go. And here comes Robinson.
Tried to buy a foul that time, but the referee not giving him any satisfaction.
McCants shuts off the drive. Now Robinson gets to the rim and scores.
You could tell, Steve, he was just itching to get into the scoring column, and he told the other guys, fellas, I got this one myself.
Williams turns, and he'll hit. Back-to-back baskets by Jawad Williams. That one out of the low post. He's taken over the post scoring duties with Sean May on the sideline.
Well, if you remember in the Old Dominion game, didn't score and didn't take a field goal attempt in the first half. So all the points that he's put up have basically been in a game and a half, and now he's picking up a little slow to start off with, but that little layup got him going into the offense.
Well, as we showed you on the graphic, he's averaging 20 points a game. Nice pass over everybody to Koundoul, who will get it. Koundoul is the energy guy for this Cleveland State team.
He made a good decision. Instead of going up on the lob that time, he took a dribble, got his feet underneath him, got the strong base, and completed the play.
23-11, and Williams makes it 3 in a row under difficult circumstances. In close, 25-11, North Carolina.
Well, with Sean May out of the game, you know, even McCants is going to get in there, or they need Jawad Williams to be a presence inside, and he has stepped up.
Here's Westley, and he is jabbed pretty hard there by Jackie Manuel. Manuel with the foul.
Well, you look, he was quiet early, getting used to the hometown crowd, but then in the last 3 possessions, 3 quick baskets. Nice duck-in fake into the lane to come back with the jump shot to the baseline, and then that move sets up the little hook inside. Now he decides to go on the other side of the block, continuing to get to that right hand, and those were 3 nice, solid, low-post moves by Jawad Williams.
Tatum, Chavis, and Coles return to the Cleveland State lineup. Jermaine Robinson drives in, and it's a blocking foul on Byron Sanders. Just stepped into the North Carolina line. Sanders first. North Carolina's 4th team foul, I believe.
And if all the guys from last year's team were here, his minutes have been impacted the most. He averaged about 16 per last year. Started for a stretch when Sean May was injured, but this is 26 minutes a game for Sanders.
To fight his way into playing time. Jermaine Robinson on the free throw line here for Cleveland State.
You know, Steve, we talked about the fact that in the first 2 games, Cleveland State has shot 109 free throws. It's only their 4th attempt right now, well into the first half. So North Carolina keeping them under control.
Omari Westley boards the miss, and he puts it back in. He's got 4. Cleveland State whittling into that lead. They're just 11 back. Past the midway point of this first half of play. Steve Martin, Mike Juminski here at the Cleveland State Convocation Center.
Convocation and conversation.
They're having conversations inside. Rashad McCants drives the defender to the floor and then lost the ball off his foot out of bounds. It's going to be Cleveland State ball. Cleveland State plays in the Horizon Conference. Let's look at this one.
Yeah, there's a little bit of acting going on there, but he gets away with it with the turnover. And they say, Robinson trying to do that because he's undersized inside, trying to get guard against McCants.
Robinson drives inside, drops it off where Westley picks it up, weaves his way to the rim and gets fouled. And the foul is going to be charged, I think, to Byron Sanders.
I think, Steve, if you're Cleveland State, you're going to have to play through a lot of contact. You got a lot of calls in your first 2 games. You're probably not going to get those calls right now, so you're going to have to expect getting hit and not having the whistle blown.
Closed captioning for ACC basketball provided by RBC Centura, building a better bank, one customer at a time. This is Omari Westley on the free throw line. Westley, a Cleveland native, played for 2 junior colleges. One of them, Wabash Valley, where he helped win a national championship. So Jawad Williams checked back in. Felton's back on with Scott, May, and McCants.
He was in his second year with the Barton. We talked about it. He was one of the top 5 or 6 JUCO forwards in the country. So he really kind of fell into Mike Garland's lap here.
McCants at the top of the floor, takes it down inside the lane, tips his own miss once, now twice, gets it again, goes up strong and hits.
Well, he was relentless on that play. Cleveland State kind of nailed to the floor on the rebound.
Percell Coles hit 61 threes a year ago, misses that one. Here's Scott getting it under control, May running to the rack, and North Carolina has got it going in transition again, leading by 13.
Well, if you remember, Melvin Scott played a lot of point guard in his freshman year at North Carolina, showed on that play.
Jermaine Robinson scored. This game, Mike, has picked up quite a bit.
Mike Garland wants to run. He wants to go. He said, I want to play exactly the way that Roy Williams plays. So you want to get up and down. He doesn't quite have the level of talent that North Carolina does right now, but that's the style that he wants to play.
Tatum brings down the miss. Here comes Chavis. We'll see Raymond Felton in his sleep tonight. Down to the 7-minute mark of this first half. North Carolina has a double-digit lead. Robinson over to Coles. He'll come up and under and feed to Westley on the diagonal cut. Won't get the basket, but he'll get the foul.
And initially, that possession, Steve, didn't look like it was going anywhere. I mean, Jermaine Robinson was dribbling the ball out front. Nothing was happening. Mike Garland was screaming from the sidelines. But when good things have happened to Cleveland State, they've attacked the rim. They've either gotten a foul or a lay-in or an offensive rebound.
They've been picked to finish 9th in their conference, and Mike Garland says we'll be much better than that. They've got a pretty good conference here. This is one of the emerging mid-majors.
Well, people may not realize 3 years ago this conference has 3 teams in the NCAA tournament. That would shock people. And this year, University of Illinois, Chicago, and University of Wisconsin, Milwaukee, probably the class of the league. But some very good teams. Butler in this conference, who always plays a very strong schedule, and they've had some nice runs in the NCAA tournament.
And also Dayton is in this conference as well. We have a timeout on the floor. 7:26 to play in the first half.
I think about Michael Jordan putting on his jersey, North Carolina jersey, once before, and not knowing I can do it now. It's a motivation.
Certainly motivation. Many think of it, and few get to experience it. And that young lady, Gail Hillman Williams, is Jawad Williams' mother. She has an attachment to this school.
Played basketball here, as a matter of fact, Steve. So basketball very much in the family. And there you see his coach at St. Edward's, Eric Flannery, also in attendance. And a pretty good program, actually. You look at the guys who came out of it. Sam Clancy graduated last year from USC. And then Steve Logan, the All-American guard from Cincinnati at high school as well.
Jawad Williams is on the list, obviously. Here comes Felton down the lane, drops it off to Sean May, lost the handle once, but recovers enough to draw a foul on the return trip. And it's going to be on Victor Morris. His first. And it's the eighth foul here for Cleveland State as Sean May goes to the line.
Morris, who talked about us seeing him and Raymond Felton in his sleep, and not only the pressure on the defensive end, but also offensively able to get in the lane and really create a number situation in the half court because of his ability to penetrate.
Sean May misses the first. North Carolina as a team is 64%. Misses both of them. Rebound comes away to Cleveland State. Up court quickly, here's Coles. Coles wants to get out behind that arc and let it fly, but North Carolina's done a pretty good job in the scouting report there. Westley on the way in, blocking foul.
Felton holding his knee a little bit on that play.
And Manuel also hurt. We've got 2 Tar Heels who are writhing in pain, and that means that Mark Davis is going to have his work cut out for him.
And I think that Felton's maybe more of just hitting knee on knee as opposed to anything structurally.
Manuel seems to be in more pain.
Yeah, they just banged knees right there, and then they fell into Jackie Manuel. Now, Manuel is the one who could, have the injury that's a little more serious. We talked about how thin this team was already, Steve, and yeah, he just kind of rolled in. It's like a lineman getting his leg rolled under inside. Both of them able to walk off. Felton looking a little bit better than Jackie Manuel at this point, although they're starting to loosen up a little bit.
Rashad McCants will check back in. And they're both going to sit. I think Roy Williams just hearts up in his throat. He's going, wow. I mean, bad enough, guys. This is not a deep lineup with David Noel out.
Well, and remember the game against Old Dominion, Raymond Felton dinged his ankle a little bit. He was on the board, and 21,000 people went silent.
Heard a pin drop in Chapel Hill last Saturday night. Omari Westley on the free throw line, 1+1, and he gets the first.
And if you're Mike Garland and you're 7 minutes into to go in this first half and you're down by 8, I think you like your position and how your team has responded to a nationally ranked team.
Cleveland State doing a good job on the free throw line now. They're 8 for 10, right? 29-22. Westley connects a pair and becomes the first double-figure scorer for either side.
And much more efficient, not quite the numbers. Beautiful move by May inside, but Cleveland State came in only shooting 60% from the line, so they've done a better job there. But they really have had no answer for Sean May down in the low post.
That play proved it. 9-point Tar Heel lead. Westley at the top. Westley on the move. Doesn't need much room to move. And he's got 12, and he's keeping Cleveland State in this thing.
He set that move up. He went left on the last possession and then was able to get to his right hand that time.
Jawad Williams. Is that 5 straight? That's 4 straight.
He hasn't missed since he got that first easy basket.
Morris at the top, trying to drive off Scott. Takes it inside and finishes. Good freshman.
I'll tell you what, Cleveland State has been able to get to the rim on North Carolina off the dribble. They've been able to beat them consistently in this half.
They're in it, just 7 back. 6 to play in this first half. Melvin Scott. Williams working on Westley in the post, lost a handle. May picks it up. And Westley, with the help from Percell Coles, comes away with a rebound. Cleveland State. Cranked up here. 7 back. Tatum, and he's fouled by Sean May. 2 on May.
North Carolina foul on 42, Sean May.
7 on the team, actually 8 on the team, so 1-and-1 coming up here or actually 2 shot foul coming up for Tatum.
What Cleveland State trying to do, Tatum that time drawing Sean May out and forcing him to defend off the dribble, and Jawad Williams is the man who was matched up with Westley, and Wesley's been able to get by him a couple of times. So Cleveland State trying to take the bigs outside and then work them in penetration.
That's Damian Price. Price for North Carolina out of Greensboro. He's a senior. Played a couple of years of junior varsity ball. Tatum on. One more. Makes 1 out of 2.
I talked about responding to a ranked team. You see right there, 1-21. The only time they beat Indiana in the '86 tournament in the first round, a huge upset in that March to the Final Four.
They made it 2 more rounds, as a matter of fact. They're losing to the Admiral, David Robinson and Navy. North Carolina turns it over again now, and the Vikings just 6 points back. Roy Williams looking at a shortened bench with injuries to Jackie Manuel and Raymond Felton.
And Felton's sitting over there, and I think he's just collecting himself. Jackie Manuel has an ice bag on his knee, and he looked like he came out of that transaction worse for the wear.
He looks like he's still in a lot of pain. North Carolina in a zone. And timeout taken here by Mike Garland in Cleveland State to talk it over. It's a 30-second timeout with 5:07 left to play. They respond to the zone for the first time.
Right. But that's by necessity. I mean, Roy Williams does not like to play zone defense, but because he's so thin and he's got people beaten up, they've had to resort to the zone. And maybe not a bad play if you got a team that's beating you off the dribble and getting into penetration. Let's see how Cleveland State responds, see if North Carolina can keep them on the perimeter and force them to hit jump shots.
Catch ACC basketball all season long from Raycom Sports and Jefferson Pilot Sports. We've got another game here in December before conference wars heat up in January. Duke comes in as a preseason favorite, but Georgia Tech proved last night with their win in the preseason NIT, it's going to be a wide open race. So see the best of the ACC this season on Raycom Sports and Jefferson Pilot Sports and many of these same ACC stations.
Well, I didn't know how Georgia Tech was going to overcome the loss of Chris Bosh.
Yeah, and Ed Nelson.
And Ed Nelson transfers to UConn, but my goodness, what a preseason NIT they had. Ishmael Muhammad, the MVP, playing well. B.J. Elder, Jarrett Jack is a triple threat, or he's a triple-double threat every time he steps out on the floor, it seems.
Georgia Tech unranked, but probably unranked no more.
Rashad Terry into the game now, and Carolina still setting in that zone.
And at the top of that zone, the three-pointer taken by Morris will roll in. Oh, Victor Morris, the only guy in the hall who knew it was good. 33-30. We got a whistle and a foul, and the foul is against North Carolina. Offensive foul. And it's going to be charged, I believe, to Melvin Scott. And listen to the crowd. They're into it.
We talked about at the top, this is the first hostile environment this team has been in. North Carolina, they've had a home game and a neutral site game. Melvin Scott just was looking to make the play and lost control of the basketball, and that's what led to the foul. He tried to dive and get back possession.
Mike said Rashad Terry is in for North Carolina. He's at the top of the zone with Williams, May, Price, and Scott. Manuel now has gone to the North Carolina locker room. No, he's over on the bench now, back in. Here's the shot from the wing. Doesn't go. To tie it up. May boards, and here comes Scott.
Counter the zone. Mike Garland going small with the three perimeter players, and Robinson, the leading scorer, really coming up short on that three-point attempt.
Big Richmond is back in the ball game. He's guarding May. Offensive foul on Sean May, and that is the third personal on the Bloomington, Indiana sophomore.
Well, you know, sometimes the referees get on a roll making a call, and they've made a couple of offensive charging calls against North Carolina. I think Richmond a little bit of a flop on that play.
Richmond came over to the Cleveland State bench coming out and almost took out the coaching staff. It's three personals on Sean May. He's got to come out. Justin Bolander takes his place. Raymond Felton back on the floor. Westley on the wing. Heads down to the baseline. We got a whistle. Offensive foul on Omari Westley.
Yeah, the freshman Terry stepping in, taking the charge on the play, giving his body up. Nice reaction. Let's see, North Carolina, they've got to find some offense, Steve, and see if they can get to Jawad Williams. He really carried them for a stretch. Let's see if he can finish this half off.
Well, especially with May on the sidelines and no threat of him coming back with a still foul. Felton comes in the front court. Bolander on the wing. Felton slips into the post, and that's where they go. But Cleveland State doubles it. Scott with a three. The rebound to Jermaine Robinson. Robinson. Ball handles to the rim. A block and a foul on Jawad Williams.
Momentum all Cleveland State's way right now, and their leading scorer taking it right to the rim. And Jawad Williams got there a little bit late, but that's kind of the rule of thumb, Steve. If you're in transition, you've got control of the ball until somebody really challenges you. You go as far as you can, and Robinson was able to get right to the rim.
Robinson on the 2-shot foul, misses the first. I said erroneously that Dayton was part of the Horizon League. They are not. Wright State is, and Wright State is located in Dayton.
Well, frankly, it's tough to keep track of who's where.
You
know, after this summer, I mean, you have it written down in pencil right now.
After the foul shot, Cleveland State finds himself just 2 points back with this timeout.
Well, both of these teams have new coaches. Of course, everyone knows the Roy Williams story in North Carolina, but Mike Garland at Cleveland State coming in, and he talked yesterday about building a culture here of expecting to play for championships. His team was really beaten down. They had lost 13 of their last 14 at the end of the year. They had no confidence, and he's really tried to build that up, and it certainly is evident in the way they played. They started out 2-0 and very much in this game, Steve Martin.
Very much so. They've held North Carolina scoreless for 2 minutes and 50 seconds. They've hit 7 of their last 9 field goals. They have shot 50% for the afternoon so far. In the corner, Rashad Terry, his shot boarded by Westley, and another opportunity for Cleveland State to either tie or take the lead.
And another quick, long jump shot by North Carolina, probably an ill-advised shot by the freshman.
Bolander tries to steal the pass for Westley, doesn't get it in time.
And then, Steve, they've also kind of stayed in this game at the free throw line. 10 of 14 is Cleveland State. Carolina only 2 of 5. So 8-point difference there.
North Carolina to 45%. Here's Robinson. Kicks across into the corner. Now Percell holds, misses. Westley gets the miss inside. Robinson and ties it up. Quickly, North Carolina comes back, and there's a steal by Morris. Well, Roy Williams and his staff worried about the rebounding, and it's come to bear here for Cleveland State. Tatum out around the top, and he gets pushed from behind.
There are also 8 turnovers by North Carolina in the first half that have led to points. Long shots get you long rebounds, and the backline people tracking that down. Again, good interior passing. Jermaine Robinson, a little opportunistic basket inside.
Foul is charged to Raymond Felton. And this will bring Tatum onto the free throw line. A chance to put Cleveland State on the lead for the first time since the game's opening basket.
I would expect the crowd to be a little more excited about Cleveland State being ahead of North Carolina at this point.
Well, that's because you got a lot of blue here. Carolina Tar Heel Nation travels very well. 35-33. Cleveland State by 2. Down inside. Williams breaks the drag.
There you go. I mean, that's been there for North Carolina all day, whether it be Sean May or Jawad Williams inside, and a good misdirection play, swinging it and getting good position down low.
Omari Westley makes his move on Williams. Inside. Ball lost out of bounds by Cleveland State.
Well, here's the look and the good save. That time the freshman making a nice pass inside. Jawad Williams now, Steve, 5 of 7 in the game. The only double-figure score for North Carolina.
Mike Garland, you feel very, very good about what your team's done so far. You have succeeded in getting to North Carolina's bench. And you've got Jack Emanuel sitting on it with possibility to return very slim. Tatum takes the steal. He gets it back. Under 2 to play. He'll penetrate the lane. Ball knocked away. Felton gets it. Up in the front court. Felton up and over for Williams. The tip by Felton. Williams brings it down. It's lost out of bounds. It'll be Cleveland State ball. Our Chick-fil-A nugget of the game. Well, the field goal percentage for Jack Emanuel and Jawad Williams has been something to write home about. Williams so far today 5 for 8. Jack Emanuel 1 out of 2, and on the sideline with a nice bag on his knee.
1 of 2, and your percentage plummets.
Yeah.
But that time I think Jawad Williams would have been better served. A little bit of a risky pass, but I think he should have caught it, come down, and then go back up with it rather than try to make that one-handed tap in at the basket.
First, he'd find himself in the foul line. Near steal by Felton, or rather by Scott. Into the backcourt. 9 on the shot clock now. Inside of the post. Tatum puts a Tar Heel on the floor. That's Bolander, and Rashad Terry boards the air ball from 3 feet. Felton to the post. Williams, double team, fouled. And I think it's going to be on Tatum. Tatum picks up his second.
Yeah, they're going to, Cleveland State, if they're going to commit and come in and double team, they're going to come down off of Justin Bolander and then, let him beat them and then try to take Williams out of it and get bodies in.
Double bonus here for Jawad Williams, who was cold at the beginning, missed his first 2 shots, and then went on a tear, hitting 4 straight. Tar Heels now 3 of 6 from the stripe, 4 of 7. Williams leads the Tar Heels with 12. 37-35. Carolina here by 2 in a game that has tightened considerably since the 7-minute mark. Omari Westley, kick across, Percell Coles for 3.
Without question, he is their best perimeter shooter, and the nice skip pass gave him all day to line it up.
Here's Scott. Cleveland State by 1. Scott on the top of the defense, and foul coming up by Percell Coles, but let's see his last strike.
Yeah, one way you got the nice penetration and throw it, skip it across. It's just too far of a run for the defense to get out there. Everybody's concerned with picking up the driver.
Melvin Scott to the free throw line. Coming into the ball game now for his first tour of duty is going to be Luke Murphy. He's a freshman from Hampton, Virginia. He replaces Tatum.
Well, and the last thing, if you're Mike Garland and for his team, to have a silly reach-in foul like that, you're playing very well, you've got things under control, and then you bail North Carolina out and put them at the free throw line.
Jawad Williams comes to the sideline. Wise move by Roy Williams as he's got 2 fouls. He already has Sean May on the bench with 3. Scott missed them both. Rebound comes away now to Robinson. North Carolina may rue those 4 missed free throws as they are 4 for 8. And under siege from a hungry home team. It has only beaten 1 ranked team in 22 tries. Chavis. Clock down to 10 seconds. Chavis at the top, harassed by Felton. Rubs him off with a shot. Oh, a banker for 3. And so ends the first half of play in grand style for the hometown Vikings. Now you're seeing some noise from the hometowners.
Well, sometimes things are just going your way, and this time the backboard gets in the way of the shot and knocks it in.
Well put, as Cleveland State has a 4-point halftime lead on the North Carolina Tar Heels here in Cleveland.
ACC basketball is being brought to you by Chick-fil-A, by Aquafina, by Hyundai, by Citco, and by RBC Centura.
Welcome back to the Cleveland State University Convocation Center, and the Vikings are hoping to make it a road trap for the North Carolina Tar Heels. And we've just received word from trainer Mark Davis and Steve Kirshner, who is the sports information director at North Carolina, that Jackie Manuel has a sprained knee. There you see him to the left side of the North Carolina huddle. He injured it in the first half. He has it taped up with a bag of ice, and he will not return in the second half.
We saw the play, and Raymond Felton just kind of banged knees, but Jackie Manuel had that leg rolled up on as bodies were falling in, and that's where you're really susceptible to getting hurt. And you hate to see that, and now it puts a lot of pressure on the freshman Rashad Terry to step in, and so let's see how many minutes he gets in the second half.
Another note of caution for North Carolina is the fact that starting center Sean May has 3 personal fouls. There's Jackie Manuel's knee, his left knee. And he's going to take a seat and view the rest of these proceedings from the sidelines.
Well, knowing that, Stephen, if you're Mike Garland and you know you've had success getting off the dribble, I'd try to attack North Carolina. You know Sean May is going to be a little reluctant to be a shot blocker in there. So keep going to what has worked for you in the first 20 minutes.
Carolina puts a lot of pressure on. Sean May steals the ball and then loses it out of bounds. But that seemed to surprise Cleveland State as they came out to start the second half.
Well, and you can bet that 90% of that halftime talk was bent on the defensive end of the floor for Roy Williams.
Cleveland State hit 10 of their last 15 shots and shot 50% for the first half. Philip Tatum starts the second half here for Cleveland State. Patrick Tatum. Robinson has it on the wing. Robinson into the lane. The kick out to the wing. Chavis picks it up for three. The tip by Westley is good. Omari Westley with 14 to lead all scorers.
North Carolina actually had a rebounding advantage in the first half, but we touched on the fact that Cleveland State is a very good offensive rebounding team.
And a foul away from the ball is going to be charged. And it's going to be to Tatum. And here the leading scorers, Jawad Williams for North Carolina with 12 points. And now for Cleveland State, Omari Westley with 14.
Let's see if Raymond Felton becomes more of an active participant in the scoring column, Steve, with Jackie Manuel out.
Here's May inside, and sometimes he makes it look easy. 11 points for Sean May. 43-39. Tar Heels cut it to 4. Steve Martin here along with Mike Jemensky. We're courtside at Cleveland State beautiful Convocation Center. 12 years old. And a lot of interested fans in both green and blue watching on. Here's Badian. Badian turns and hits. Badian with 6, and Cleveland State with that 6-point stiff arm.
Nice recovery. McCants did a nice job digging in on the play.
Got a foul called here.
Badian gets called on the foul on that play, and here's the other 42 going to work offensively down inside. We got a little one-on-one war going here down in the low post. Badian says the best defense is a good offense. I'm coming right back at you.
Badian now has 3 fouls along with Sean May. Now we have a blocking foul. And that's on Tatum. Patrick Tatum picks up the foul. That's 3 on him.
And that was just a blatant flop. I mean, sometimes you get caught in the flow of the game. You might be able to get away with it, but he was falling backward as Jawad Williams was thinking about his move.
Tatum goes to the sideline, so foul trouble piling up on both sides here. Badian and Tatum both with 3. Coming back into the ballgame, Walt Waters inside. May takes it right to the new man and misses. McCants with the reverse. You know, McCants has been kind of quiet in this game too, Mike.
Yep, but really did a nice job covering the front of the rim on that offensive rebound. And North Carolina gets something they didn't get much of in the first half, a turnover for Cleveland State.
They're down by 4 here. Mike Garland trying to keep his troops ready. As Mike said, he's an assistant to Tom Izzo for 7 years. There's the turnover story. A slip to the post. Here comes Williams inside. Look for the foul, didn't get it. Ball loose to the sidelines, and it is going to be North Carolina ball. Last touch by Walt Waters.
On Badian, they've got, you talked about the fact that he's a great shot blocker. His brother Musa plays at East Carolina and has led the Conference USA in block shots the last 2 years. You know, pickup game in that out in the driveway. The rim doesn't get hit very often.
Oh, there's a block by Badian on Williams. The ball kept alive by Waters. And here comes Chavis in the front court for Cleveland State. The slip to the post. The handle by Waters. A little too far. Badian stick back, boarded here by McCants. McCants penetrates and finishes with a foul.
You touched on it. He was an all-horizon defensive player last year. Pop Badian going up and staying down and keeping his feet with the long arms, getting the block on Jawad Williams. And then, I tell you, Rashad McCants made a beautiful drive up the floor, really using Sean May as a pulling guard. Went right behind him, nobody turning around and stopping the advance of the dribble.
Let's look at this play again.
Here's the look. He just goes right off of May, almost a moving screen on that play. But that's good court vision by McCants to follow him right down the middle of the lane.
Good block into the hole. That's all it was. Omari Westley gets past the double team. Waters is waiting inside. Can't get it to go, but he'll go to the foul line, where he'll shoot 2. The foul is going to be charged. Raymond Felton. He's got 2.
Well, the freshman, a lefty, and Mike Garland is pleasantly surprised. He didn't think he'd come along as quickly as he has, and because he has developed, it's allowed Badian to to move over to the power forward position, which is his more natural position. That gets those two guys out on the floor at the same time.
Bolander checks back in, and Sean May comes out. This is what Roy Williams is going to have to do for the remainder, for the next couple of minutes anyway, to keep May from picking up the floor.
And you know, Waters too from the Detroit area, and I asked Mike, are you still going to recruit Michigan? And he kind of got this smile on his face. And he had spent all those years as an assistant up there. He's built a nice network of coaches, high school coaches, and I imagine he'll still get a few players from up there.
Here's Scott to the post. Bolander back to Scott for two. Two-pointer by Melvin Scott, and the Tar Heels are just two back. Biggest lead that either side has had is 14 for North Carolina. Cleveland State led momentarily by 6. Chavis to Badian at the top. Chavis comes out, brings Felton with him. To the wing it goes. Omari Westley lays it in softly inside. 16 points for Westley. Inside Williams for two.
And that's where Jawad Williams has really picked up his scoring this year, the ability to get out on the floor. And if you're Mike Garland, you hate that on a made field goal, North Carolina going back and scoring in transition.
Here's Westley at the top. McCants takes it right out of his pocket. A foot race, Omari Westley and McCants will win.
But that was the thing that North Carolina didn't get enough of in the first half. They've turned up the intensity a little bit here in the second half defensively, and they're starting to get turnovers in the front court.
Tied it up at 49. Here's Westley inside in traffic. Ball stolen by Jawad Williams. Here's Felton up in the front court. Felton to the rack. The rebound comes down to Badian, and he can't hang on. Had a good box out on Bolander, but could not finish it off. There's the steal by McCants in a foot race with Westley. He'll finish and tie this ball game up at 49 all with just under 5 gone. DC basketball is brought to you in part by Toyota. Well, welcome back to Cleveland State, North Carolina, and Cleveland State tied up at 49. Tar Heels have it under their own hoop. Inbounds comes to McCants. Bolander up and over. Nice pass. Williams comes down, has his shot blocked by Badian, and Richmond takes it away, and there's a foul.
Badian had 9 blocks in his first 2 games coming in and continues to be a defensive force. Pretty nice lob play, and Jawad Williams unable to convert there, and that allowed Badian the time to regroup and go back up.
And Richmond has the ripped out of his hands, but there's a foul. There's Badian. So Cleveland State gets it back. Morris over the top. Skip pass to Coles. Williams gives him a little room. Badian baseline jumper. Yeah, he's got it. Oh, it looks short for a second. He's got 8. 51-49.
Came in shooting 36%, but has shown the ability to knock down that little mid-range jump shot along the baseline.
Carolina with Sean May in foul trouble with 3, and Jack Emanuel out with a sprained knee. McCants gets into the lane and gets fouled there by Percell Coles.
Screen roll, and Badian faces up. A lot of players will dive right to the lane, but he saw the space created along the baseline, decided to pull out for the jump shot.
And the respect that North Carolina has for Percell Coles' ability to hit the 3 caused Williams to stay right where he was. Felton. McCants for 3. No. Rebound Badian.
So you got to honor the ball. The guy with the ball is pretty important.
Yep. Yeah, no question. But, I mean, Coles is an accomplished shooter.
Yeah, the threat is enough sometimes.
Here comes the handoff to Coles. Here's the 3-pointer. And a rebound Badian again. Coles, no conscience. Blocked there by McCants. Badian picks it up. He tries to throw to Richma. And we got a whistle and a foul inside, and a foul is going to be charged to Percell Coles. And that's 3 on him.
A couple of missed opportunities for Cleveland State on that possession.
So Coles picks up the foul, I believe. Or is it Richmond? Richmond is going to get it. Richmond has 4. Here's the shot by McCants. Rebound Richmond and a tie-up. Possession arrow goes to the Tar Heels. High up there with Jawad Williams. Williams saw that 7-2 Hulk come at him. Just got out of the way.
It's an avalanche coming his way, and he held on long enough to get the jump ball, and then he jumped out of the way.
Williams comes to the sideline. Sean May is back in. Richmond is out. And Kundul is into the ball game now. Amadou Kundul, whose nickname is also Pop.
What?
They call him.
Badian's name is Pop.
I know.
Kundul's nickname is Pop, but they call him Two-Pop.
That's right. McCants at the top to Sanders. Did I get that right?
Yeah, I saw you kind of hammered a little bit.
Yeah. You made a chicken salad, my friend. McCants to the post. Here's May. Turns on Two-Pop and misses. And Kundul picks up the foul.
And actually, you look now, and going to the free throw line, North Carolina has to take advantage of this, but with the pace grinding down, it really plays to Cleveland State in the style of play that they like to work at.
Well, they got 17 fouls on Cleveland State now, so they're in the 1-1, and they have 5 fouls, 4 fouls to give. So this foul line business is of great importance for North Carolina.
Well, you talked about the blue jerseys. Sean May's dad, Scott, great All-American from Indiana, is from the Cleveland area.
Right.
So he traveled a bunch of people here too. So there were a couple of players who had a real ticket crunch for this game.
51-51. May makes a pair from the free throw line. Now North Carolina trapping, and they cause a turnover.
You know, now and this is going to be a poise game for the last 13:35 for Cleveland State. They're in a game with the 10th ranked team in the nation. They've got to believe like they can play, that they should be here, and then keep the poise because they know the pressure is coming.
To the top, Sanders. Felton. Now McCants. Screen by May. Good defense by Cleveland State to shut it off. Into the post it goes to May, and he scores. Scott May with 15. North Carolina regains the lead, 53-51. 13-14 left to play here.
And an effort to kind of hide him a little bit. They've got North Carolina playing a little bit of zone again.
Robinson on the top of it. They slip it into the post. It goes there to Omari Westley, and he'll score. Westley has a variety of moves that gets him to the rim. Tied again at 55, and we got a whistle. And an offensive foul is going to be charged, and it's going to go to Byron Sanders.
Here's the look. Cans dribbling a lot on that possession, but May able to shape up right in front of the rim. And this is, again, nice attack of the post against the zone. You can still do a lot of man-to-man offensive principles, and Westley has been very good at putting the ball on the floor.
Kicks across to the corner. Coles for 3. Rebound McCants. Cleveland State 3 for 12. McCants on the wing. Walk with it. The defender got there, and McCants had to double clutch. Took a few steps in the process.
You know, McCants has been very aggressive in taking the ball up the floor, but I think you got to get the ball in Raymond Felton's hands at some point here and let him run the break.
Turnovers now. Tar Heels have induced 6 from Cleveland State. Sean May gets another rest. Jawad Williams is back in, and that's how it's going to be for Roy Williams. He'll give him 90 seconds and then bring him out. And nurse that third foul down into the single digits. Westley, nice give and go, blocked by Rashad Terry. Oh my.
Now, I touched on the fact I thought the freshman would have to come up and play some meaningful minutes in the second half, and great reaction on that play, coming all the way across the lane and getting the block. Terrific play.
Well set up by Cleveland State, but Terry erased it, and now a timeout called by the Vikings to talk things over as they couldn't find an option. 12:19 left to go here in the second half. We got a good one. North Carolina and Cleveland State are tied. Our Heels and the Vikings are tied at 53 all. North Carolina has come out shooting a lot better in the second half, 8 for 15, while Cleveland State is 5 for 12, but they're hanging in there. They've got 14 for 18 off the free throw line. Rebounding is even between the two.
Only one struggling a little bit after a terrific first half. Jawad Williams, 1 of 5 in the second half so far, but I think he's been getting a lot more defensive attention from Cleveland State, especially in the post.
Rashad Terry with the steal. He's got a block and a steal and a finish by Jawad Williams, but no basket. He traveled.
You know, and again, that's somebody other than Raymond Felton running the break. A freshman not knowing when to deliver the ball. You put your big man in a position where he, probably waited 1/2 count later to get him the ball, and he gets the dunk.
Javis out top. 12 minutes left to play. Plenty of time left in this. Westley, and he's fouled by Rashad Terry. That is the 4th team foul by North Carolina, and we get a timeout. 11:58 left to play in the second half. Still no movement in that scoreboard at 53. 53-53. Oh, look. that is Mackerel Jordan. After that cheerleader.
Did that come out of Lake Erie?
Wouldn't be alive very long, I think. Here's the ACC preseason media pick. Mike might have to refigure Georgia Tech. There's a little footnote there, but North Carolina are very highly regarded, despite the fact that they don't have an awful lot of depth.
We thought a tenuous pick there. Certainly the starting 5 worthy of that pick, and the coach worthy of that pick. But can they hold up physically over the course of the season?
Scott with a shot off the wing, doesn't go. We got a whistle, and a loose ball foul is going to be charged to Cleveland State, and it's going to be charged to Percell Cole. Or no, I think it's Chavis. And that's going to be the 8th foul, and of course North Carolina in the 1-on-1 now.
Well, this is where they have to step up. They've had a huge advantage at the line in the first 2 games, but only have shot 64% from the line.
Rashad Terry hits the first. Putting North Carolina on top here. Terry, MVP of the 2002 North Carolina 4A championship team. Winston-Salem, R.J. Reynolds High School. Javis down in the front.
Lone signee on that team for the freshman class.
Those 2 points for the night. Against the trapping zone. The ball thrown right at the backboard. Cleveland State picks it up. Here's Coles taking the 3. Yes!
Those are the type of possessions that have a huge impact on the game, and what should have been a turnover somehow found its way to a Cleveland State player, and they get a 3 as a result of it.
56-55. Cleveland State by 1. Ball lost on the end line, and Kundul loses it. Let's see that 3-pointer by Coles again.
Well, we touched on it, and this is Kundul again. Not a great. He's not going to stuff the stat line, but he makes the hustle plays, and he comes up with the loose ball there, and his team gets a big shot as a result.
Man, that was a deep 3 by Coles. He made that one from Jacobs Field. I mean, he was halfway out to the center line. Coles, Philadelphia. 20 points or better 7 times last year. 56-55. We're down to 11 minutes to play. Melvin Scott. Through Williams' hands, picked up by Felton. Back to the corner, Williams, and a pushing foul on Kundul. It's 2 on him, and that's going to be 9 on the team. So 1-on-1 for Jawad Williams.
So his dad was a Golden Gloves champion here in Cleveland back in '82. So one half of the family was playing basketball, the other half was boxing. He's got a brother who's a Golden Gloves boxer as well,
and a sister who plays at Virginia. Williams on the free throw line, hits the first, has 15 for the night. And as Mike said, he's done it very quietly. 16 points, putting the Tar Heels on top here by 1 at the midway point of the second half. On the drive, Robinson is stripped, but gets it back. Percell Coles, 3 more, no. Westley boards it clean, and a foul coming up. No, he walked. Walking call, charge for Omari Westley, and Mike Garland is really beside himself.
But it was a good call. There was a little bit of a hop. Westley got inside, and
here's McCants off the front of the iron. McCants struggling a bit in the second half. Pass pushed ahead to Robinson. Robinson measuring Scott, puts it up, and it is put in by Westley on the stick back.
You know what happened? Rashad Terry went for a block that he didn't have a chance of getting, and he gave up offensive rebounding position in the front of the rim as a result.
Another lead change. Cleveland State by 1. It's going right back in North Carolina's column with his 18th point of the game, Jawad Williams. Chavis. Nearly backcourt. Here's Robinson for 3. Cleveland State just keeps on coming. 61-59. Rashad Terry inside. Nice move by the freshman from Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
Everybody gaining confidence, and Steve, we talked about it as a team like Cleveland State. The longer they're involved in a game, the more confidence they have.
Davis, cross to Robinson, gets by McCants, gets to the back line of the defense and misses. Here comes Felton. Wraparound pass to Scott. Inside, Terry scores. North Carolina up by 2. Got an injured player.
Omari Westley fell down on that play, and that's what allowed that break to happen. He was in a position to get back. Now maybe, in this stretch, Roy Williams gaining a little confidence in the freshman Terry. He's played very well. He's responded nicely over these last 2 or 3 minutes.
He'll get a rest. Byron Sanders will come in.
And number 41, Byron Sanders.
Sean May back into the lineup. That's 90 seconds in, 90 seconds out. Roy Williams playing it to the max here as May trying to conserve himself with 3 fouls.
And he's going to have either Jawad Williams or May on the floor. One of them is going to be out there at all times, so they have a presence down low.
Double the post. Morris comes up with a jump shot. Doesn't work. Rebound comes away to North Carolina. Rashad McCants. Felton steps around Chavis. Oh, shot erased by Badian. Into a fast break by Robinson. And a foul coming up on Melvin Scott.
Well, it is so nice defensively to have a big guy like that to erase mistakes in front of the rim. Felton just undressed his guy out in the front and was able to get all the way. You see that look right there, and they get the rebound, but that was just Badier really stepping up, and he has been a force inside.
Badian outside. The shot won't work. McCants comes away with a rebound. McCants struggling at 6 for 17. Scott into front court. 8.5 to play now. Felton. Ball lost in the corner. Picked up by Cleveland State.
Walt Chavis making a nice defensive dig in on May.
Here's Robinson right down the alley. And Robinson has his shot blocked and out of bounds. It's blocked by Sanders. It'll be Cleveland State ball. Well, Waters checking in now for Cleveland State. Jawad Williams is in for North Carolina.
It's fine if you explore the offense and get a jump shot as a result, but I really think Cleveland State needs to continue to be aggressive offensively and attack the rim. I really think they bail North Carolina out by settling for jump shots.
Especially from their big man. Badian. Skip to Morris. 63-61, North Carolina. Morris drops for Badian inside. We got a whistle and a foul before the shot went out. This will be the 16th foul on North Carolina, and the foul is going to be charged to Felton, I believe. That's 3 on Felton. So Felton joins the foul trouble brigade. In comes Damian Price, and McCants goes out. North Carolina by 2. Trying to hold off Cleveland State's upset bid here. Tar Heels came in 9th in the AP poll. Cleveland State obviously unranked, but they won over Central State and Florida A&M.
Well, we've seen the top part of the top 20 has gotten beaten up this past week. UConn losing, Arizona's lost,
Texas Tech
has lost. So it's not a lot of separation amongst the teams.
Waters inside. Sean May had to back off a little bit. Waters takes advantage and ties it up at 63.
Well, and credit the coaches and Waters as a freshman to understand that May, the foul situation that he has, and to go at him instead of shying away.
Nice save by Williams. Skips it back out to Scott. Here's May. High ball game. Williams back to Scott for 3. Rebound May. Turns on Waters and scores. Sean May with 17, 65-63, North Carolina. Holds from the wing for 3. Yes! That's 3 threes Percell Coles. Cleveland State back up by 1. Inside to Williams and a foul.
You can bet that was a jump shot that Mike Garland holding his breath on a little bit, but Percell Coles has been terrific in this game.
And Pop Badian picks up the foul. That's going to be his 4th, I believe. 4 fouls on Badian, so this may be a war of attrition for both teams. 2 shots for Williams as the Tar Heels are in the double bonus here from here on out on the 10th team foul. Badian comes out, Omari Westley back in.
Mike Garland going a little smaller. North Carolina has to understand that they've got, they can do some work inside. All you have is the freshman in Waters inside.
Percell Coles comes out, Jermaine Robinson back in. Williams 1 out of 2, has 19 for the night in his homecoming, but he'd rather see the Tar Heels comfortably ahead, which they are not right now. North Carolina, Cleveland State tied up, 7:14 left to play here in Cleveland. You know, there's nothing like college basketball. Today's game proves it, and if you're celebrating the win, well, do it right. The way you celebrate says a lot about you and reflects on your school, so be responsible. Take care of yourself and your friends. A message from Anheuser-Busch.
And Mike Garland hopes that he can send this crowd home and to celebrate responsibly. This would be a huge win early in his head coaching career and a huge win for this program.
Well, the second biggest crowd in this building's history is watching on, 11,534. 7:14 left to play. North Carolina had opened up a 14-point lead in the first half. They do not have Jackie Manuel in this game. He was injured in the first half of play. Sean May is playing with foul trouble. Here comes Westley, and he travels.
Well, Steve, I think Sean May has done a nice job of massaging that, still sitting with the 3 fouls, so he can open up a little bit. You're starting to get down to the 6-5 minute mark, and so he's done a nice job there. Plus, he's playing against a freshman in Waters, so you know they're sitting in good shape right with him.
Felton, Williams, Scott, McCants, and Sean May inside, hangs it up, and putting it back in is Rashad McCants. McCants can come alive at any time. Here's Morris, his drive, no good. Waters has the ball picked away by Sean May. Outlet pass, Felton, maybe. Saves it to a Cleveland State player, that's Westley. Back to Morris. Here's Chavis, why not? Free ball by Walt Chavis gives Cleveland State a 1-point edge.
Well, the magnitude of who they're playing and where they are in this game is not settled in. They are playing nice and loose.
Here's Williams. Travels as he tries to get around Omari Westley. Our Chrysler game summary looks like this. Manuel out with a sprained knee. 6 of 7 behind the arc for Cleveland State. North Carolina with 16 offensive rebounds. And the steal by North Carolina. May ahead to Scott. They got a 2-on-1 working. Scott can't finish. Williams tries. We got a whistle and a loose ball foul on Robinson, reaching over the top of Sean May, and that's going to be his first.
2 free throws for Sean May, but still, Carolina, it's got to be frustrating. They're getting opportunities inside and have either turned the ball over or missed layups.
Sean May going for 2. Roy Williams looking on, seeing his team face a superb effort by Cleveland State here this afternoon. Sean May with a double-double already. North Carolina off the stripe now, 11 of 18. Waters comes out. Those misses look big in a close ball game like this. Second shot, miss, and McCants. Let's see, we got a lane violation. He's going to be charged against Omari Westley.
Guy who got very fortunate with that call because Rashad McCants clearly over the back.
That puts May on the line for one more. Garland says,
They came
get over it.
And they came in shooting 80%, Steve, only 4 of 7 in this game now.
Second shot, or the third shot to make 2. Misses. North Carolina's still tied. Coles for 3. No. Last touch by North Carolina. This say maybe McCants might have gotten a shot at it?
Yeah, they're saying that he deflected and got a little piece of the ball.
Sean May comes out. Rashad Terry goes back in. May getting more of a rest than anything. Body on to Westley. Westley back to body on, but Williams steals the ball. Felton across for Scott. Pull-up jumper, no. Rebound tipped out wide, but North Carolina will get it. 5.5 to play, and still a tie ball game. Here comes McCants inside. Whoa! Erased by Badian.
Time and again in this game, he's really protected the front of the rim, and North Carolina thinking they've got an easy shot.
Going back to Badian. Out front, Coles for 3 more. That's 4 3-pointers for Percell Coles. North Carolina now in a 3-point hole. Under 5 to play. Terry down the lane, lost the handle. Puts it back up hard. And Coles picks it up for Cleveland State.
He tried to do too much individually that time off the dribble, Steve.
Morris at the top. Westley. Guarded there by Rashad Terry. 4.5 to play. The Vikings of Cleveland State leading North Carolina by 3, and they draw a foul on Rashad Terry out in the middle area of the court. It's a 17th foul now on North Carolina. Sean May checks in, Rashad Terry checks out, so it's 1-1 for Cleveland State.
Well, you know, you touched on the fact they were picked 9th in their in the conference this year, Cleveland State, and the coaching staff felt like that was an injustice, and they are proving it here in this game. They have played with a lot of poise today.
Well, that sound you hear is the Horizon Conference's media representatives trying to recount their ballots. Badian comes out. Ritzma comes back in.
Well, and this is, you know, the other thing is Rolly Massimino played a very slow, deliberate half-court style here. And Mike Garland, this is an exciting team to watch. I think more and more people are going to discover this ball club.
McCants on the diagonal cut, too hard off the glass, gets his own miss, stops, twirls, misses. Williams can't do it, tries it again, and it's taken there by Jermaine Robinson.
You sense that urgency is creeping in here. He's still 4 minutes to go, only a 3-point game, but North Carolina rushing a lot of their offense.
Got a foul, a trip on Melvin Scott. Now that's 3 on him. It is the 18th foul on North Carolina. So with 4:07, 1-1 here, this game is going to be determined by how successful each team can be from the stripe. After Tatum is in. Omari Westley takes a break. Here's Jermaine Robinson.
He's the guy they're going to look to. He played 86 games in his career. He's a 5th-year senior, actually working on his 2nd degree. You know, so he has been in big games before. Certainly, maybe not an opponent like North Carolina, but they're going to look to him in the last 4 minutes.
So that's 2 straight 1-on-1s they missed the front half of. Felton down into front court. Gets the jumper that is short. May boards the miss. Can he do something with it? No. Tipped by Felton, no, but an over-the-back foul on Raymond Felton, and that is 4 on Felton. You know, Cleveland State was involved in a game with Florida A&M where 4 players DQ'd and 5 others were at 4 fouls.
Well, you get the sense Raymond Felton tried to make something happen there, and I think he felt comfortable taking that shot because Sean May had good offensive rebounding position inside. He got the ball, but was unable to convert.
Saw Roy Williams imploring his bench, teaching a little lesson there, and Ritzma will go to the line. Ritzma from Cleveland, tallest player ever to play here at Cleveland State at 7'2". Uses all the equipment to get it in.
Now again, things have happened in this game which would lead you to believe it may be Cleveland State's night. I mean, a shot like that, he hasn't played this year, and the ball goes up and hits the backboard and comes down.
Almost made it 2. 4-point Cleveland State lead. Their biggest has been 6 early in this second half. Felton into front court now for North Carolina. Slips to May at the post, and a foul is going to be on Ritzma, and that is, Ritzma's gone. So fame is fleeting for Pete Ritzman. He has fouled out of this game after hitting a foul shot that has put his team up by 4. And he gets the accolades of the crowd of 11,000 plus.
Well, and this is, you know, as much of a learning curve as it is for the players. Roy Williams has to find out how his team reacts to these situations. I mean, he's still getting to know the personalities of each player and the personality of his team.
North Carolina's shooting percentage, Mike, is sinking to 40%. Jawad Williams at 7 for 16. Rashad McCants 7 for 20. With big foul shots on the line here for Sean May, who makes the first of a 2-shot foul. Cleveland State over the limit at 10 fouls. North Carolina has 19 fouls. The foul line is going to be an important determinant of the outcome. May misses the second. The rebound loose. North Carolina has it. McCants, no. May tries to get it. Ball loose, and here comes Scott. To the corner, McCants for 2.
Into a critical mistake. Mike Garland upset the offensive rebound off the free throw, and in a sense becomes a 3-point play.
73-72 Cleveland State. Down to the 3-minute mark. Just 15 seconds away. Jermaine Robinson at the top. Scott chasing him. Robinson stops, tries to buy a foul on the 3. Rebound comes away to Chavis. Chavis gets away to it to Coles. 3 more. 15 points for Percell Coles. 76-72 Cleveland State. McCants top of the floor. Felton looking at the post. Williams turns. Goes to the floor once, puts it off the square and in. 21 for Jawad Williams, and a timeout being called. It's a 30-second timeout. It's charged to North Carolina, I believe, with 2.5 to play. Closed captioning for ACC basketball provided by RBC Centura. Building a better bank, one customer at a time.
Well, certainly the crowd into this game right now really just rallying around their team, and Percell Coles has been terrific from the outside, has really given them a spark from the perimeter.
5 3-pointers, Mike. He has been money from out there. He is 5 for 12. He's only taken 1 2-point shot tonight. Missed that one.
Well, it's been, you know, you turn to your upperclassmen. Jermaine Robinson is senior, a 5th-year senior, has played well. Pop Badian has owned the lane inside. He's a senior, and Coles a junior.
Foul trouble for both sides now will be a factor as we come down the stretch. As good as Percell Coles has been, his team only leads by 2. Richmond's gone. Tatum with 4, along with Badian. North Carolina's Raymond Felton now with 4. We've talked all about Sean May, but Tar Heels, I feel, could ill afford to lose Felton at this point in time. Robinson. 2.5 to play. Robinson stops. Here's Badian.
You got to feel that Jackie Manuel, if they're healthy, would be guarding Robinson, and instead now Melvin Scott, who's 3 inches shorter, gets that challenge.
Westley handles at the top. Shot clock moving to 10. Shot by Coles for 3. He misses. Tip by Badian, taken by May.
Now, last 2 minutes of ball game, that shot changes.
Yeah.
You know, it's a little bit different from the outside.
Felton with a handle out front. They pulled May out to the top. Williams on the perimeter. Looking inside. Ball tipped away. Oh, we got a foul over the back. I think it's Percell Coles. And if that's him, that'll be 4 on him.
A little bit of a delayed whistle, but clearly a reach over the top by Percell. McCants had established good position inside.
North Carolina looking to post up McCants that time, as they had both Williams and May pulled out on the perimeter. McCants to the stripe for 2.
He's been solid, Steve. Double, 17 points, 18 points now, and 12 rebounds for Rashad McCants.
However, he struggled from the field tonight at 8 of 22. But he can tie this thing up. Does not. Rebound tipped out to North Carolina, taken in backcourt by Melvin Scott. Minute 44 left to go. Raymond Felton playing with 4 fouls. May working our way to the 92nd mark. Felton off to Williams. He'll take a 3 for the lead.
Welcome home.
24 points for Jawad Williams, 78-76. North Carolina by 2. Minute 16 to play. Here's Coles for 3. No, it's short, partially blocked.
Had to alter his shot to get it over the outstretched arm of Sean May. Terrific defensive reaction.
Clock down to 1:02.
See, they got to go back to attacking the basket. You know, at this point of the game, you can't rely on jump shots.
Felton now at the top trying to buy some fouls. And he got one. Morris with a little hand check. And he picks up his second. But North Carolina, both teams now in the double bonus. And the Tar Heels will step up here with Felton.
I don't think you needed to make that play. You know, you get a stop here. You're only down 2. Now you give North Carolina a chance to make it a 2-possession game at the free throw line.
51.7 seconds left to go. North Carolina trying to get out of here with their lives. Felton is money on the first shot. Raymond Felton with only 5 points tonight. And 2 rebounds. He's got himself some assists, 7 in fact. Second shot good. And a timeout on the court. Here's how he got here. Felton's 2 free throws were preceded by this 3-pointer from the hometown boy. Jawad Williams puts the Tar Heels up. 80, Cleveland State 76, 51.7 seconds left to go. Our Pepsi players of the game, well, the homecoming boy had a big day. 24 points, 9 rebounds for Jawad Williams. Omari Westley, a double-double with a 20 and 11 count, and he was magnificent for Cleveland State. I don't know how this is going to come out, but Cleveland State's going to get a ton of respect from everybody. 51.7 seconds left. Steve Martin here with Mike Jaminski here in Cleveland. Maybe cold outside, but it's heating up in here. Big possession for the Vikings. Morris, a true freshman point guard, stuck with no options. Now Badian bails him out. Clock rolling down. Sean May playing some pretty good determined defense on Westley. Shot clock working its way to 10. Here's Westley, kick out, nearly intercepted. Coles for 3. No. Rebound tipped into Badian's hands. Coles at the top on the wing. Robinson for 3, rims out. McCants boards the miss, and North Carolina are about to put this one away. And a foul by Percell Coles, and that puts him on the sidelines of the 10.
Well, you know, Mike Garland really upset on the sidelines, and they did miss a couple shots. I thought they were slow getting into the play, Steve. I think they needed to get something a little more quick hitting, get a play inside, get to the free throw line, stop the clock, and put some pressure on North Carolina.
Melvin Scott goes to the free throw line with just 8.5 ticks left to go. Scott on for 2. Tar Heels about to get their 3rd win of the season, but it hasn't been easy. They play Illinois in Greensboro Tuesday night. I understand a lot of tickets available for that game. So
a bit of a revenge game for North Carolina. Illinois, that was played at Champaign last year, and gave them all they wanted. It was their first loss of the season after going 5-0 and winning the preseason NIT.
Scott makes a pair. It's a 6-point lead, and apparently comfortable here. The 2 by Coles. No, the 3 by Coles. Rebound fought for, taken by Williams, and that's it. A lead. Jawad Williams comes away a winner. So does Roy Williams. He congratulates Mike Garland. Tar Heels beat Cleveland State by 6.
ACC basketball has been brought to you by Food Lion, by Bud Light, by your Carolina Chrysler dealer, by Pepsi, by Geico, and by Altel.
Jawad Williams' three-pointer fueled an 8-0 run for North Carolina. They finished out with an 82-76 win over a determined Cleveland State group. It was an outstanding game here on a Saturday afternoon at Cleveland, Ohio. For Mike Jemensky, I'm Steve Martin, reminding you you've been watching exclusive coverage of ACC basketball on the Raycom and Jefferson Pilot Sports Network. The final again, North Carolina 82, Cleveland State 76.